Hey, what's up guys? It's Kai the Conscious Kid back with another video, and great news. The audiobook for Demarcus Jones on the Solar Calendar Book 4 is finally out. I was the voice, if you didn't already know. And 2 weeks ago, our subscribers were able to get it free, and I really hope they took advantage of that because I really like this audiobook. And the public can now get it as of last week, so they can get it now. And if you kind of don't know, or maybe you're younger, I don't know, you can't pay for it, we have a contest out. So make sure you check our pages for that. And of course, the contest is for the audiobook. So you can get it free, listening for a whole audiobook. And yeah, you can get it now. It's free to the public on our website. So you can go check that out. So I realized that I never talked about this book like I did the other 3, so I guess I'll take some time to talk about it now. So this book is about Demarcus Jones and his cousin, Sage. I can't say it right still. I always say S-H, Sage, instead of Sage like it is. It's S-A-G-E. But yeah, they of course take the adventures with the solar calendar, and they meet 4 people. It's Akhenaten, Zora Neale Hurston, Fred Hampton, and Sakanuye no Tamaramaru. I'm laughing at that because I couldn't get the Tamaramas right, so I would always be like Tamaramamaru because I wasn't sure how many it was. But yeah, so they on the side of Demarcus and Sage, they're trying to figure out more about the calendar because in the last book they figured out there were rules. So Demarcus is trying to translate it. And Sage is a genius, as she calls herself. But she's a genius. And so she's kind of able to figure it out. So they make a deal to every trip that they go on, there's every rule that she'll translate. So, yeah. They go on trips for things that... Or they have conflicts on God. And they kind of take trips on that, or take a trip on that. They have conflicts on, like... I wouldn't really say ghetto per se, but, you know, if, like, slang is, like, considered a real language or things like that, you know, like, I don't want to say hood things, but it's a lot about the, you know, it's the type of things that, basically, Sage is more, like, proper, I guess you'd say, so she's saying that it's not really a language, it's not really a thing, and Demarcus, or when they go on the trip, they talk about that. I'm going to say it that way. And the one trip they take with Sakanuye, they're talking about black people being in Asia because, you know, black people in Asia, people don't really think about that. So we incorporate that in the book too. And they also go on a trip with the Black Panther, Fred Hampton. And they talk about, or there's a lot about the riots with the police, and the Black Panthers and all the different groups and things that they did. And so they get to, you know, Demarcus, he's talking about how, like, he's heard about what they do to the Black Panthers. But, you know, with the solar calendar, of course, being able to see it is completely different. And the things that they were trying to do to help, and how, you know, the police and the public made them seem like they're a really bad group. With our 4th book, I really like just the way that the story goes with the history. I always say that, but it's so connecting. Because, you know, with the story, and you can really feel like the livelihood between between Demarcus and his cousin Sage. And, you know, a lot of the familyness, and I get to feel those emotions. And I hope you guys do the same. But, you know, being able to mix it with those history and things that you might necessarily didn't know. And the way that Demarcus's feelings are conveyed, and you can kind of feel the same way when he's angry. You're kind of like, yeah, you know, you kind of feel that same passion. So yeah, I really like how Sage and her character is being portrayed, since we're kind of just learning about her, but the way that she's introduced. So with the feeling exactly, when Sage gets mad at Demarcus because Demarcus is underestimating how smart she is, or saying she's not as smart as she is. You can, like, when she gets angry and she gets all sassy, you can kind of, like, feel Demarcus's, like, not really, like, I don't really know the emotion, but it's like, when you're just like, oh, okay, my bad, you know, stuff like that. Or when he's angry because of some of the stuff he finds out in the calendar on some of the adventures, things that they see. You know, as many things as he's seen, but he just keeps getting angrier and angrier about it. And, of course, you should read them in order. So you can kind of, if you've read the other ones, which you should have, you can kind of, you know, the built-up anger he's had about certain things. So, like, at this point, when he kind of starts, not really breaking, but, you know, when he gets to that top point, you can kind of feel it with him and his anger and the reason that the reason he feels the way he is about certain things. I know that's really broad, but I just don't want to say anything because you guys really got to read this. Or you can listen to the audiobook that just came out. I really enjoyed this book, especially with me reading the other books. It's a lot of things that I really want to know. So even with my mom being the author, of course, she's not going to tell me either. But the rules about the solar calendar, finding those out, and now just thinking, well, because I know what I know, is there going to be a certain things that happen? Because with, like, some of the rules, I just don't know how the next character and Demarcus, how crazy it's going to be because there's a lot of stuff that's about to happen, I think, and it's crazy. And, well, if you want to choose the audiobook instead, I'm the voice of the audiobook. But yeah, with the audiobook, which is like audio book, it's like instead of having to read the book if you're in the car or something and you don't really have time to really sit down and read it, you can get the audiobook and you can kind of listen to it while you're in the car, maybe in traffic going to work. But yeah, it was really fun because this is our 4th audiobook, but it's my first time doing it. My brother did the other 3. And being able to see the differences, because this is our first time doing it in our own house. We used to do it with another guy who used to help us edit it and all those fancy things. Yeah, because it's kind of really funny with the bloopers that I did and being able to hear some of his bloopers. A lot of his were like, he kept messing up like sentence after sentence after sentence. Like sometimes, and he wouldn't know why, so we'd start getting those bloopers. But with me, it's like missing whole sentences and mispronouncing stuff and not being able to pronounce certain things. It's really funny. So yeah, I would recommend the audiobook because not only because I am the voice, because we do have our nice bloopers at the end. But yeah, it's a really fun process being able to, you know, start it, just read the book out and then listening to it being edited, the differences, the sound effects being added. It's just a really cool process, I think. So, audiobooks are... I don't know if I would prefer you read it or you listen to the audiobook. I think they're both really nice choices. Because with the book, you know, reading it, maybe for some people, it helps you portray the emotion better. But, you know, with the audiobook, you get voices, sound effects, things like that. So, I would recommend you buy it. So yeah, I would recommend that you guys go check out the audiobook, check out all of our stuff on our website, of course. And with that being said, I will go into our wonderful quote. And the quote is, "Don't wait. Time will never be just right." By Napoleon Hill. And yeah, it's with a lot of things that I've done in my life, a lot of things you guys have probably done. When you wait for something to be perfect, or you're like, I want to get started on this, but I want to wait for something to happen. And maybe it never happens, or it doesn't happen the way you want it to. And some of you know that it's not really perfect timing, and sometimes you think, well, maybe it would be better, or maybe it would have been better if I would have just done it before. Don't wait for it. Just go. Do it now. Whatever you're doing, just do it. Yeah, just... don't wait for things to happen because for all we know, things might not even happen that way. It's the future and who knows what the future holds. So just get off your feet or whatever you're doing. Wow, I said that wrong. Get on your feet and do what you need to do. And if you have watched to the end of the video after the quote, I get to tell you more about the bloopers. We're going to have some bloopers at the end of this video from the audiobook. And it's only some of them, not all of them, because there's quite a few bloopers. Yeah, so you kind of get to laugh with us because there are some pretty funny ones. So yeah, you guys can go check them out. They're also in the audiobook with more. That's really the only place besides here that you're gonna really get bloopers, and you're not gonna get all of them here. So yeah, with that being said, here's some bloopers, and this is Kai the Conscious Kid signing out. Peace. Solar calendar in my toe ate my cereal. I can prove God exists. Wait, what? Wow. Many public lynchings ended up on postcard. That's so funny. Sage's eyes remained to be glued to the floor that was wrong. Would meet to determine the ideas behind Christianity. Ideals! So close.
I thought his voice was deeper.
It is now. But let's just focus on how we're going to translate this papyrus. There's papyrus. I was just happy it was all over, so that I could get something to eat. My gosh, I'm hungry.